How's it going, team? Today I am making a quick video about how to make carve turns. First of all, a lot of people get mixed up between skidded turns and carve turns. Some people think that all turns, like toes and heels, changing edges on a snowboard, some people think all of those are carve turns, and that is not true. Basic turns, where your board is kind of drifting and skidding throughout the turn, whether it be on the heel edge or the toe edge, those are just called skidded turns. A carve turn is one where the board just leaves a thin line in the snow because the tail and the nose are following the exact same path, and that path is basically determined by the shape of your board and how high you've tilted up the board. So if you tilt it high enough, and if you look at this little trail that I'm going to leave right behind me now, there is like a nice thin line being left in the snow right there, and that is the arc that you end up with if you're carving. Okay, and the same thing applies if you're on the toe edge. So if your board is tilted high enough and is engaging like this, then it leaves this nice thin line in the snow, and it's super satisfying once you get them down. So I'm going to strap in and then show you guys how to do them. So first things first, with carve turns, you do need to have a little bit of speed, but you don't want to be worried about gaining too much speed. So where's the best place to do carve turns? Generally on a relatively mellow but quite wide green run. So to make them happen, the key is to initially be just going dead straight down the hill, and then to suddenly engage the edge more than you normally would. Next, from there, we do the same thing on the heel edge. So straight line, then tip it up, just balancing on the heel edge. And then once you can do both of those, then the plan is to engage straight from a heel edge or a toe edge, immediately onto the other one. Carve turns are really handy for maintaining speed. So once you get them down, they're a great way to get down a skinny, flat trail without slowing down much, but still being able to change directions and maybe weave around people that are going even slower than you. I can't stress this enough. You need the edge to engage all at once. So if you engage just the nose, the tail will wash out and you won't be carving. If you engage just the tail, it might lock into a carve turn, but it could shoot you out of there and you might end up getting thrown a little bit. So initially, you just want to kind of get low, get straight, and then tip up the board and see if you can get it to engage into that arcing line. So main stuff to remember is that you do need to have some momentum. It's like riding a bicycle. If you're going fast enough, you can just tip that thing over a little bit. But if you're going slow, you're going to have to actually steer the bike to keep it underneath you, you know? So on a snowboard, steering the bike like that by turning your handlebars is kind of the equivalent to like driving your front knee into turns to sort of allow the board to wash out and go into skidded turns. But if you can get going fast enough, then all you gotta do is suddenly engage the whole edge, and it's really good for maintaining speed. Why do we want to be able to make carve turns? Other than the fact that they're the funnest thing there's ever been. But on top of that, if you ever want to ride in the half pipe or spin off of jumps, most of your approach turns are going to be carve turns. When you ride through the park and you're setting up your line to take off on jumps or to hit rails or whatever, most of your turns are going to be carve turns, which allow you to just kind of maintain whatever speed you've already got. Get out there and give them a try, guys. Let me know how it goes for you.